Power recording.
Okay. Bypass the unit to start with. I'm assuming it's in line. So then you can disconnect it. All right, once it's disconnected, we're going to unscrew the top of this thing. Take it off and lay it to one side. Set that down. Now, most units will have a distributor in them. That will look something like this. The inside, we will just pull that out and we'll there lay it to one side. Now it's just a matter of emptying the tank. So you can pick it up. Let me get this sort of on it. Now you can dump it in a bag, you can dump it in a garbage bag, you can pour it in a ditch, you can pour it on the ground and shovel it up. You just have to get rid of it. In a bag is usually the easiest way to contain it. The outside's of the water. Go ahead and clean it up. It's coming. Just wasn't full of water. So. Here we go. Okay. Now, since this didn't have one, we're going to have to trim a new one. It has a center that the distributor drops down into. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can shine it down in there. It's just a little indentation in the bottom. Okay. Once they drop down, that's as low as it's going to go. Now, this is an autotroll. If this were a fleck, it would be flush with the top. An autotroll is a little taller by about approximately an inch. So we have to get that mark. This is a thin distributor pipe, so you got to be careful cutting it so you don't bust it. There we go. That should be just about right. There we go. Now, get some tape. Right here. We put tape on the top of this distributor so that when we fill it, we don't pour stuff down the distributor tube. If this were the original distributor, you would need to wash it out real good with the hose before you start putting the stuff in here so that there's no particles inside. If you don't get them out, then it could possibly come through and get into the system and plug up a faucet or something like that. Alright. That doesn't have to be very tight, just as long as it'll stay on there. Okay. First of all, we'll put gravel in. And it's not particular just exactly how much, but we do need enough gravel to cover the bottom of that distributor. And it'd be nice to have a half inch or so above it. That's enough. You can see nothing but gravel. Now we have resin. We just need to pour the resin. Resin doesn't pour real well, so sometimes it helps to have help. Okay, once you've got the resin inside, then you can remove the tape at the top, being careful not to get any resin down in the tube. Now we're going to take the water hose and we'll rinse this down to get all the resin out of the threads so that it doesn't create a problem with the unit. Okay, once it's all clean, it's a good idea to go ahead and put water in it now if you can. If that's inconvenient, you can always fill it once the head's back on it. But if you put the water in now, it saves you problems later on. New resin will have to be backwashed thoroughly and then rinsed because it'll have color and a bad taste. That'll pass quickly. Just be careful that we get the center. It's got a small one. We're going to use a head that'll actually fit this tank. And once we hit the center, there we go. Stop. And once the head's back on, just snug it up. That should be plenty tight. And you can just hook it back up to where you took the booster on or install it. You're ready to go. Now once it's back in, the water's turned back on, you got to fill it. So you want to fill it in backwash. To get this unit in backwash, push in, turn to the first section. Right here it says backwash on the unit. Turn it, and you'll hear air coming out the drain. And you let it run until you get water out the drain. That gets all the air out of the tank. Let it run for a few minutes that way. 3 to 5 minutes should be fine. Then turn it around to a forward rinse. That would be over here, just before the end of the cycle. Right there. Let it run for a little bit that way, then you can put it in service. When you put it in service, turn on the cold water somewhere that would be soft water. Let it run for a few minutes because it's still possible you may have a little color. That gets rid of the last, any color and residue that might still be left. It's best to do that like at a tub or a place that does not have a screen on it, because if there's a few beads of resin got in here, they could get in and stop something up. That's just a safety precaution. It's a smart thing to do. And you're done.